For some analysis, let's speak to Qiang. He's the Assistant Director of the International Monetary Institute. Sir, great having you. What does this figure mean in the wider economy?
Well, I think that shows the resilience and the power of Chinese economic dynamic is still there. Everybody will feel very suspicious at the beginning of the 2024 about how Chinese economy is going to grow against all the turbulence, against all the international backdrop, and also sluggish domestic market in the housing property and also consumptions. But I think right now at the beginning of the new year 2025, I think we have seen these numbers. Chinese economy still have lots of advantages in many areas. For example, the new quality productive forces. I think this is actually a very successful shift of its economic structure. If China still relies on the export on the labor-intensive industry and its product, I think China wouldn't make it this far when the international trade and tariff situation turns up to be so bad. And also, I think Chinese domestic market, even though feels sluggish after the 3 years of the COVID, but still it shows a great resilience, and also the dynamics are getting new momentum. For example, in education and tourism, in culture, and also what we call the soft consumption has become the new growth point. And meanwhile, I think the tech-savvy industries has become the new point in Chinese, not only domestic but also international trade growth. And also, I also think that the Chinese government has made a lot of improvement in their policies. For example, setting up lots of the special purpose, the vehicles and the facility to support the domestic financial industry, financial market, as well as the housing market. So I think from the bottom line, from the floors, I would be stabilizing and diffusing the potential risks, but also for the ceilings for the growth, we have set it up a very clear guidelines and the directions for the future.
Professor Chu, I'd like to tell the longer story, right? I'd like to look at which sectors lead now and explain a large part of this figure, but also not only now, but which sectors will lead in the future, in your opinion?
Well, I think, as I mentioned, the key factor which is leading Chinese economy to achieve 5% of the GDP growth, which is still the highest among all the major economy of the whole world, reaching the total GDP of 130 trillion Chinese yuan. I think the reason for that is the high quality productive forces, which means, well, in the simple words, high tech, green technology, digitalization, and modernized industrialization figured by AI and some other high technologies. So I think this actually enabled China to seize commanding height in the value chain and help Chinese companies to have a rather proactive position in the world trade, which can very largely write off the negative impact towards current protectionism and isolationism. So I think this is the future. But of course, we still have a lot of worries about the future. For example, even though Chinese population are growing faster than the last year, but still we are in the negative zone. And also about the trade, even though China achieved about more than 6% of the growth in our international trade, but we don't know about the 2025 and 2026, how the world is going to be. And the people are saying, because in 2025, we're probably going to have more of the trade conflicts in here. So people will rush at the end of the 2024 and to export and import more. So that can be the situation. But hopefully, since our two leaders are talking to each other and they promise to have a more stable and a peaceful environment for the future, so we have all the reason to believe this trend will continue in the future.
I'd also like to know which sectors in the Chinese economy the economy is moving away from, which are shrinking.
Well, I think what Chinese economy is moving away from is traditional old pattern of old industry and old growth financial market, which means China is saying goodbye to the labor-intensive industry, the old, heavily invested, the low efficient and the dirty, not green kind of industry is long gone. We're going to say bye-bye to them. And they're not bringing any profit to Chinese economy, and lots of externality probably will be the collateral damage. So we realize that, and we'll let it go. Instead, we were going to have digitalized, green, and AI-powered economy featured by the current most of the world-famous companies like BYD, like Xiaomi, like Huawei, and they're going to be the new brand name for Chinese economy in the future. And secondly, China is going to say goodbye to the solely productivity-oriented economy growth pattern and focused on the balance between the productivity plus consumption. And consumption last year contributed more than 48% of the GDP to Chinese economy, which means China is actually at the threshold, crossing from the middle income nation to a middle and high income nation. So this is very important. Consumption becomes a new important trend in Chinese economy. And I think thirdly, we're saying goodbye to the solely focus on the international market, but trying to have a more balanced double circulation between the domestic and the international market. So this kind of the triple balance or triple change actually will focus on the future's growth model of China.
Qiang, thank you for your time. Great having you.